Okay, there's something. There it is.
No. They smelled another cat in here. Well, the kitten was playing with Blackie. The kitten was playing with Blackie over there.
And I click.
Hi.
Hi.
Where are you, Mr. Evans? I see your name, but no face.
It's connecting now, so I don't know what's going on.
Jay, you know that 3 dots up there on your screen?
Give me a second. Hang on.
That's a blue square on the top right corner.
I see it.
Click it and start your video.
Good video.
Hello.
Hey.
You're doing this without a shirt?
Yes, I'm doing this without a shirt. You guys are.
Scare off all of our subscribers that we don't have.
What?
You're going to scare off all the subscribers we don't have.
No,
You'll
I
be
ain't.
all right.
I ain't that scary looking.
But I think that depends on the looker, on the person who's looking.
Okay, I'll
think
get it
you might-
ready. I'll get a tank top.
Think you might be right.
You know, I still ain't figured out how to edit these videos, so we're going to be showing off your nude top to everybody.
You gotta get a video editor.
Oh, is that what I got to do? Then when I download the video, then I can edit it out?
Yeah, I can look up. I can look up a couple of different ones.
Right. Okay, yeah, if you can. Anyway, so here we are. We had decided to do extraterrestrial life today, not realizing that we were coming on to the 4th. So what we want to do is we want to first extend greetings to you all, children of the universe, wherever you may be. And secondly, ULC Norman Ministries presents, what's the name of our show? What's the name of our group, Mr. Adam?
Master de Batorz.
And we present, what is that show called? What's the show called again?
That jump.
What is it?
That jump.
That Junk. When did we come up with that name? Anyway.
I don't know.
Huh?
I ain't got no clue.
So anyway, we decided that in light of July 4th that we were going to do a segment on what freedom is to us, right?
Yes.
Right.
And as usual, none of us has discussed this topic between us until like right now, right?
Right.
Huh?
Yep.
We haven't talked to you. Okay. So you didn't talk to Adam. Adam didn't talk to you. Neither one of you talked to me, and I didn't talk to either one of you about this topic until this second, this like now.
Right. We only came up with the decision of the topic.
Right. And then we didn't discuss our point of view. So again,
Right.
people, this is live. When we record this thing, this is live, and like you're getting our natural reaction as we sit here and talk. We would like to extend invitations to people. If you want to be a live participant on the show, tell us what topics you're about. Send it in your subject, that dunk in the subject, along with your email and the topics you're interested in. And we will send you an invite when we have that topic available, and we will let you know a week beforehand. And you can email us at ulcnormanministries20@gmail.com. And we'll put that in a thing somewhere here. I'll type it on the Google Docs when we show it. Again, we're inviting people. We have 10 slots per show that we're able to give away. If you want to be a guest speaker, email us, and like I said, we will put that up. Where did Mr. Evans disappear to? There's my renegade other son, oldest son, wannabe son,
I need a glass of water.
illegitimate son. No, I mean not illegitimate son. That's the wrong.
I ain't got no money. I can do water.
Well, then you do that water, presenting that junk.
I got coffee.
I don't
got
even have a coffee maker, so I can't have coffee.
I have. Yeah, you can buy instant.
I don't like instant coffee.
Yeah, you do. You just don't know you do.
I do not like instant coffee.
Yeah.
So basically, this is what the 4th of July actually means, is just being able to sit around on your laptops, on your computers, and just shit talk. So let's get this shit talk on the road here.
Man, I don't want to hear that junk. I don't want to hear that junk. I thought we were here to bullshit.
That's what we're doing.
Huh?
That's what we're doing.
Hey, I thought we were a serious show, man.
We can't be too serious.
Now, we gotta lay back and relax a little bit. Come on now, guys.
I don't want to be a clown of the internet, but I know I look like one.
You don't have the right color hair. If your hair was bright orange, maybe.
Yeah, I don't want to look like Ronald McDonald, man.
With a big old red nose.
Understand, McDonald's, that is your last free advertisement from this show.
That is correct.
And that was
Not
only
to
by
mention
slip
Taco
up.
Bell.
Oh, you like Taco Bell?
I won't say what I call Taco Bell.
Go ahead. We're allowed to cuss on this show. Huh?
Toxic hell.
Toxic hell. That's Taco Bell. Why do you call it that?
Have you been around me about an hour after I've had toxic hell?
Well, I have, and Adam has, but see, our viewers have not. So you must enlighten our viewers as to why you call Taco Bell toxic hell due to
Because
what?
my gas is toxic about an hour later.
I have the same problem when I eat White Castle.
I have the same problem when I eat McDonald's.
Yeah?
White Castle and stuck on the toilet 30 minutes later. No thanks.
Right. Well, McDonald's, the greasy food, that's what it does what it's supposed to do, and we're not going to get into that shitty mess.
If I want a burger joint, I'll go to Five Guys, even though it's expensive.
So that's weird. We're talking about freedom. So first things first, we're free to choose what kind of junk food we want to eat.
What kind of junk food we want to eat, what kind of beverages we want to drink.
But we don't have the freedom to get it for free, do we?
The freedom to get what?
Any of the junk food. Do we have the freedom of the junk food for free?
We have the freedom to choose it. It's just not free to get.
So we have freedom so long as we can pay for it.
Right.
Then again, we don't actually live in a true free country. We live in a republic.
So what's the difference between freedom and republic?
Okay, in a true free country, we would be dealing with anarchy.
Oh!
Survival of the fittest. Whereas in a republic, it comes down to a group of people are gathered together to take into account all the votes from a state to put the votes through.
Okay, Adam, what's your take on the difference between freedom and a republic?
Freedom is where you have the right to do what you want, when you want, how you want, as long as you don't infringe on somebody else's right. And then a republic, and well, it's just that republic.
Actually, I'm not trying to correct you, Adam. Just
You're fine.
clarifying for you.
Hey, this is Master de Batorz, so
Okay. I'm just going to let you know what I learned in government class. what you just described as freedom is what a republic actually is.
I know.
Freedom means you can do whatever you want, when you want, how you want, whether it affects anybody else or not.
I'm smoking on a broadcast. Ah!
That's not harming anyone, though, except yourself.
Maybe. What if my doctor says it's not harmful to me? Oh, he would be going against mainstream, but he's free to do so if he knows so, right?
Well, I just mean the tar and the bad stuff in the cigarette. Overall, it's good for you.
Well, so anyway, me breathing the air is all bad because we've got tar and carbon and pollution. You know why that is? You know why that is? Because the companies, corporations, and all of us people are free to produce and make pretty much whatever we want. So long as we don't harm someone else, but yet we have restrictions on, what we're allowed to do as people, like smoking in public. But yet that same government, same restriction or whatever, puts a lightweight fine on people who violate environmental protection.
Yeah, that's about backwards.
Isn't that stupid? I can go to jail after the third time getting caught smoking a cigarette within 300 feet of a door with a growing fine, which is minuscule, 300, 500, 1,500, whatever the increments are. But yet, it doesn't matter how many times Big Corp dumps junk in our water, they just get a little fine. They're never criminally charged and put in jail.
Right.
Well, I'm having a little bit of crazy hair day today, so, I guess that's well within my Republican rights.
So, wait a minute. Is that a freedom of expression? Is that what
yes, that is a freedom of expression.
It's a freedom of expression because I like the way my hair looks. Doesn't necessarily mean that you like the way my hair looks. As long as I like the way my hair looks, that's freedom.
But the thing is, the way you want to wear your hair doesn't harm another person.
No.
And if it hurts your feelings, I'm sorry, oh well.
Get over yourself.
But what if I don't? What if I think that your look is so hideous that I can't handle it mentally?
Well, then look somewhere else.
Yeah.
Oh, but that is discrimination.
No, it is not.
You telling me that my hair is bad is discrimination.
What? Telling the truth is discrimination?
Yes.
No. Telling him he can't wear his hair that way is discrimination.
Is discrimination.
But I thought that was oppression.
No.
Oppression is a form of discrimination.
Well, you know what the difference is? Wait a minute. Between telling Adam, your hair looks like shit. That's my opinion.
Right.
Adam's like, I don't care, it looks like shit. I like it. You go, I really don't want to get in the middle of this father-son date, so I'm just going to say whatever it is to get this conversation done and over with. So there's the freedom of opinion. We might not agree, and there's going to be times, and I'm sure here today we're going to get into a few debates. We already have. We may not agree, but the thing of it is, to me, freedom is being able to express our opinions without being not criticized, without being oppressed from doing so, whatever that opinion may be. The Supreme Court's ruled on numerous occasions that the First Amendment, which is what we as a church first and foremost are based in, is the First Amendment. But the First Amendment is basically a right of a person to say, write, pretty much do whatever they want to do, so long as what they say or write or do does not harm another citizen in some physical or financial way.
Right. Like if it defames somebody, that's illegal.
But what's the difference between saying, in my opinion, you're a piece of shit, and saying, I know for a fact you're a piece of shit?
Because your opinion is not a fact. To say that in my personal opinion, that's my point of view.
Oh, so I can look at a police officer and go, in my opinion, you're a piece of pig pork bacon.
Yes, you can legally do that as long as you say the words, in my personal opinion, first.
What do you think of that, Adam? Or what, you got something to say on that?
Well, in my opinion, this is the croc.
Mind to elaborate?
Well, we're like little alligators playing in a playpen, not knowing which meal's next.
Elaborate a little bit more. I'm confused.
Okay, let's put it in layman terms for you. Two baby toddlers playing in a playpen, fighting over a rattler.
You're saying that's what we are today?
No, that's what the world is today.
The world
Fighting over resources that we don't have, that we need, that we don't have.
Or is it more of the point? Go ahead, Jay.
We're not just fighting over resources that we don't have. We're also fighting over stupid crap that's not going to affect our grandkids.
Right.
Such as
the supposed racism that is being denied by several African American celebrities. Morgan Freeman said there is no actual racism now. Yes, there's minor spouts of it, but racism is not a subject that needs to be brought up anymore.
well, wait a minute. I think there's still racism. It's diminished a lot. Racism is a very, very serious topic, but it is one that is in our union right now.
Right. It's just what I mean by it's not as bad as it was back when Rosa Parks sat in the wrong part of the bus because she was the wrong pigment of skin.
Well, see, and I agree. I think freedom is also, okay, African Americans, oh man, they have a rich culture that they can share with the world. The Muslim Americans, they have a rich culture. I see a lot of them up here in Columbus, a lot of different cultures. And man, every one of them have a unique way about them. And I think that everybody has a right to be proud of their lineage, hereditary, culturally speaking.
In their heritage.
But, I'm proud to be white, not because of racism, but I'm afraid to say that. I'm telling the audience today, I'm afraid to say that I'm proud to come from an Italian-Irish lineage.
Well, here's something for you. Something I found out last night. Did you know the Africans were not the first slaves in America?
No, I did not.
The Irish were.
Slaves? Like slaves?
Yes, slaves. They cost less, though. They cost $5 compared to the $30 an African slave cost.
That's appalling. While we're on that, understand, now you done fired me up. You done fired me up, son. There should have never, ever, ever, ever have been slavery in the United States of America. If the Constitution was upheld as it was written, nowhere in that Constitution did it say that anybody was allowed to be enslaved.
No, as a matter of fact, the Constitution said the exact opposite.
And I'm glad that we had the courage to fight a civil war to enforce that Constitution upon all of our states upon all of our residents and to free all people who were born here or naturalized here, and allow for this great nation to emerge with so much culture and so much freedom. Yeah, I know the rest of the world's looking at us and we have problems. The problems is bad policy. The police being allowed to use a chokehold on any citizen was just plain bad policy. The police being militarized to where they can outgun the citizen actually violates the spirit of the Second Amendment, in my opinion.
Right.
So the fact that no citizen in our country should experience oppression, no citizen, no one in our care, no tourist, nobody within our jurisdiction of the United States of America, its territories, its states, should have ever been oppressed. Period. Dot. And that's the problem today, is the Constitution is not being enforced by each and every one of us, the individuals.
Right. I found out something else the other day, that the police are essentially a military organization, a paid military organization.
Isn't that scary?
Yeah, and guess what that is? That's anti-constitutional. Whereas the county sheriff, which is an elected official that answers to the citizens, is not military.
Well, let me explain to you. A police department of a city is overseen by the city council, and specifically the mayor, and normally the head of whatever their department of law is. Okay.
Right.
So those officials, the city officials, are what they call vicarious supervisor. They're the ones responsible for the action of their underlings.
Mind you, I'm not saying cops are bad. Far from it. Because a lot of cops I know are really good. But that 10% of bad apple is what leaves us American citizens, well, not all American citizens, but certain groups of American citizens are more likely to be ostracized by cops.
Well, you know, Dana, actually, since she doesn't come on the show, sometimes I got to represent what she talks to me about. The other day, I was informed by my therapist, and that when New York City banned the use of chokeholds in the police, that the police were no longer allowed to do it, that over 3,000 New York City police officers quit, threw their badges down and quit.
Yeah. It's what they should have done. If they weren't allowed to do it, they need to quit. If they don't want to do it, if they don't want to follow the rules.
But that's the way they was trained. They was trained to do that.
But they were not trained to hold somebody on the ground.
They were trained to detain them.
They were trained there. Go ahead, Adam.
They were trained to detain them any needs necessary.
As long as they're not using lethal force. They only are supposed to use lethal force on somebody that is running away. That is a valid suspect.
So, wait a minute. In a free society, because the citizen, which is supposed to be the boss, doesn't listen to a cop, gives that cop the right to restrain that person's liberty?
No.
If that person is law-abiding, they deserve their liberty.
And what is law-abiding?
If they are committing a felony, yes, they should be restrained if they are doing something to harm another.
Yeah, if they're doing something to harm another. So if I'm sitting out on my porch and I'm blowing a bubble of heroin into my arm, and I bought it with the money that I earned, then the cop shouldn't even be able to stop me?
No, because suicide's not illegal.
Oh, it is. It's illegal to attempt to commit murder or murder on self or others.
Come to find out, suicide is not illegal in the state of Ohio. It's
I know,
only
but
harm. They actually made it where you can kill yourself, but nobody else.
Well, see, then people need to start using that. Adam, what you got on this, bud?
About what?
About police states.
I already said my piece on it, but here goes again. They were trained to detain, however means necessary. If that means putting them in a chokehold to knock them out to put them in cuffs, then that means putting them in a chokehold and putting them in cuffs.
Even if it leads to death?
Even if it leads to death.
But do you think they have a right to do that?
Well, no, they don't have a right to do that. I think it's appalling for an officer to do something like that.
See, I think it's appalling to have cops in any way, shape, or form.
Yes.
That's anti-freedom to me. If I want to walk down the street and shoot off my gun and I don't kill somebody, go away. Kind of going back to your hair thing. I don't like the way your hair looks. You don't like the fact I got a gun. Oh, well.
Oh, well. Go somewhere else.
Go to another country where it's not so free.
Right. And where they're not worried about you walking down the street. Oh my God, what color is that person?
Right. But you know,
they're not judging me because I'm white, and they think I'm a privileged white man.
Oh, that's
and I'm not.
No
I'm a poor white man who lives in poverty.
That because you have a dad that knew the Constitution and how to enforce it, you became privileged.
Right.
But it didn't matter that I was white.
No.
Or black or pink with purple polka dot. If we, the citizen, knows our rights and knows how to enforce them, then we become privileged.
That is when we become privileged, number one. That 1% of America that's privileged is that 1% that knows their Constitution, knows their rights, and knows how to enforce them.
Right. Did you guys just read what I just said?
I tried to pull up the chat.
No, I couldn't get it, Jay.
I'm trying to get
Hold
the
on.
chat.
In the Floyd case, look at the license
plates on the police car.
Cars.
What police car has the word police on the license plate?
None.
None that I know of. At least not in Ohio. Ohio, they have a different color.
Nowhere in the Union.
So it looks like a security card?
Look at the license plate on the police car in that video. It says police. To boot, when Floyd was put on the stretcher, he was wearing handcuffs. They don't put you on a stretcher in handcuffs.
Wow. Well, you know, I think we need to check into that before maybe we can.
Oh, I looked into it.
I know, but I'm saying we don't have a way to post.
Jay can share his screen if he has it up on his web.
I would have to look up. You have to look up the video, and it takes me a bit to find the video. So what I'll do is I'll find that video, and I'll post it next week.
All right, yeah,
Okay.
or if you find it, we can share the post underneath as one of our comments on our YouTube page.
Right, that video had so many holes in it, red flags that said, "Hey, these aren't actually cops."
Yeah, but they were. I mean, they arrested the police officers of that town.
Oh
We're
no,
down
I mean,
to we
yeah,
are
10
down
minutes.
to 10 minutes already, guys. 10 minutes left.
Right.
6:26. So we need to wrap up here. Oh my, the time went by really fast.
Hey, time flies when you're doing something interesting.
I mean, while we're dealing with, with racism, we have to address the issue that there is still racism. I acknowledge that there are still racism, and there's still genderism, there's still discrimination, there's still
Bigotry in general.
Yeah, but there's discrimination in general. But what it all, I think, to sum that up, is we have to, as a whole, as a nation, as a people, regardless of our cultural or ethnic background, establish, or more to the point, reestablish a constitutional government. If a practice is unconstitutional, a procedure is unconstitutional, by all standard of law, it is null and void.
Right.
Right.
And so maybe what we need to do is start looking at all these rules that are allowed to be interpreted at the discretion of a police officer who's not a lawyer. Okay,
Right.
Number one, they're not lawyers to interpret the law of what is or is not legal.
No, a police officer is merely there to arrest somebody if they have supposedly done wrong.
Right. And
But
it
is not up to them to interpret the law. It is up to them to enforce the law as it's read.
But this is the problem. This is what I'm getting at. If you enforce something, you have to be able to somewhat interpret it.
Right.
So that goes back to what I was saying, that if we know our rights, understand that in Matt versus Ohio and Terry versus Ohio, sound familiar? There's one commonality there, and that's the state of Ohio. It says that a cop has to have reasonable suspicion that a person is committing a crime or about to commit a crime before they initiate a stop and frisk or a stop of any kind. And they have to not only have a reasonable suspicion, but they have to be able to articulate that. They have to be able to say it. So when we're approached by a police officer, whether it's being pulled over in a car or stopped on the street, what we need to do as the citizen, number one, is always keep a recording device handy. Okay?
You actually have one with you if you have a cell phone.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Make sure you always have some type of recording device, preferably one that has audio and video both.
Well, come to find out, iPhones now have something. If you say, Siri, I'm being pulled over, it turns on 18 apps all at one time.
Well, you're going to have to get that checklist done up so that we can post that with this video. Because honestly, man, white, black, pink, purple, polka dot. If you know your rights, brothers and sisters, if you know your rights and you know how to enforce them, then you are privileged American. Because all Americans are privileged if they know their rights and know how to enforce them. I don't remember who it was that said knowledge is power. But the knowledge of
that was
somebody famous said knowledge is power.
I know Edison said it at one time, but he wasn't the first.
Another person said money is power.
It's not far off.
So, but a person with the knowledge to be able to take a government official's money and freedom, which is what every American citizen should know how to do. And that's part of what we're doing with this show. And the ULC Norman Ministries has a constitutional class to teach people. It requires membership. And we do things one-on-one. We're still working on our websites to be able to get that out. But we are coming to an end, guys. So we're going to have to touch this topic again. Happy 4th of July to you. Thanks for coming
Happy
on.
Independence Day.
Happy Independence Day. Every United States citizen have a fun 4th of July. And everyone enjoy your weekend.
Oh, and I have to say something I've said many, many times as a final note. If you don't like the laws of this country, leave it.
Or change it.
Or change it. But if you are not willing to change it, and all you're going to do is complain, do one of two things. Be quiet, or keep it to yourself, because most people don't honestly want to hear it. And that's my personal opinion. Or leave my country. My father fought and died for this country. Not to have the flag stomped on and burned, not to have anybody ostracized, but for the freedoms of our country. For our rights.
Yep, I had family members.
I'm not saying my dad wasn't racist. Because my dad was full on bigoted. But he still fought for our country and our Constitution. Whether he agreed with it or not, it's a whole nother ballgame.
Right, I get it. Adam, any final thoughts, words? We're down to 3 minutes.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Just all Americans have fun and enjoy your 4th of July weekend. Try to hit your family up on this July 4th and see how they're doing, how they're getting along during this epidemic, and hopefully y'all can get along, and hopefully this racism that is showing in everybody just dies out.
Well spoken. With that, let's we're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and probably end this because I don't think there's a whole lot more we can do in 2 minutes. We appreciate everybody viewing this now and in the future. We will be posting new things every week. Next week we should be dealing with extraterrestrial, and that was because that was supposed to be our first one, but it didn't go that way. So tune in, and again, if you want to be a part of our topics, please email us at ULC Norman Ministries.
Hey, put that in chat.
I don't think it records the chat.
I can't remember the title of it, so.
Hold on. I can do something here.
Share it on your put it on your screen and share your screen. Something so they know which one.
Oh man. All right, there's a tenet that we didn't cover. Each creation is a form of life and has its role.
Your screen ain't there. There it is.
Did it come back up?
Yeah.
Your background is up. There we go.
There it is.
All right. So let's see if I can type in here. If it will let me.
creation.
Each creation is a form of life and has its role in the circle of life. So that's basically covers, freedom. We have freedom to live, learn, and grow at our own pace, speed, in hopes that we won't harm anything else along the way. And it's not letting me type it, so.
You need to disclamp and defrag your computer.
Anyway, so much for that. And I don't know what happened to everybody. I do not have our screen up. Something is going on.
We're still in the. We're looking at your background.
But you're not seeing me?
Oh, I'm seeing you on the right side